What is going on, everybody? A2 Angler here today with a very different video, I would say. I was thinking a lot about, I really enjoy content creation. I don't think I'm very good at it, but I enjoy it. And everything I've seen lately has said, just create. Create, and who cares who views it? Who cares how many views you get? Who cares how many clicks you get? Just create something. And so this is me starting to get into, really getting serious about the creation of my videos. And one of the things I've learned about is Apolog. I'm going to move into words and language I really don't understand still. But Apolog has a certain codec in it where you can get more information in your picture from a certain way that it's coding the video. And so right now I've got it just completely on normal Apolog, which looks very hazy. It looks bad, but it's bad intentionally because within Apolog, it's containing a lot of information that lets you as a creator kind of dial in your look. So for example, I could throw over a LUT. And a LUT, from my understanding, is essentially just basically like a filter. And so you can put these different LUTs on top. All right, so we'll try another one now. And as you switch through LUTs, you can kind of dial in these different, I would say, looks or feels for your video. Maybe you want your video to feel very saturated with lots of color. Maybe you want your video to feel maybe colder, right? Or a little bit more dramatic. And so that's where I think this will come into play for me, because I've always enjoyed the videos and watching videos that are a bit more cinematic. A lot of times when I'm watching fishing videos, for example, they're just very basic jump cuts, really. There is some clever editing with sound or J cuts in order to get the next scene going. But I've really enjoyed watching some YouTubers that take the time to really think about how they're making their videos, where I can clearly see color grading and good audio, and on top of all of that editing, they're telling a good story. So as I move forward in this journey of trying to figure out my capabilities, my own skills with audiovisual techniques, I decided that, the iPhone 16 Pro Max was a good one for me because I'm often traveling, and it's nice to have in my pocket something that I could pull out and set up in an Airbnb to give you the backstory, or, introduce a concept, or start to tell you more about things that I've found that are working well, be it fishing or be it in the spots or the weather, some type of analysis. But I want to make that content really interesting. I want to make that content a little bit different. And so I think if I approach it from a more cinematic way, I think I can show and develop stories in a different way. So, there's been days where out fishing, it gets really cold and it sucks. And you can do a lot of clever editing to make that image feel cold and feel like it sucks. You'll feel the burden when you're trying to dial it in, and all you can find are 14, 15-inch fish. And then there's those days in the summer where it's just blazing hot, and you want to be able to make that feel warmer, where you bring up more of the tones and the yellows, and you're able to really tell that story of this is I'm flipping into cheese that is just heavy, and it's hot and it's humid, and but you'll have a lot of really vibrant colors with that amount of light. And I think I'll just be able to tell the stories a little bit better, and hopefully bring you content that looks good. That's my goal. I want it to look good. I want it to sound good, and I want to be able to tell a good story. And then I'm also learning about how the GoPro can also shoot in this log mode, so that I can make my colors or my feels or my look seamless, so that when I switch away from 4K video on an iPhone I can shoot 4K video in log on a GoPro and essentially do the same thing, control all of the look and feel so that this, what you're seeing now, and this amount of editing can be placed onto GoPro footage. And that way it doesn't, there'll be times where I can clearly tell that a YouTuber is using a much better camera in their car. Then they jump into their kayak and it's a bunch of GoPro footage that isn't treated, that isn't in log. It's just the standard GoPro footage. And when you do that, you allow GoPro to mess with your image, to give you an image that you might not want to develop in that certain way. It might blow out different colors, or might, highlight different colors, or play with autofocus and things that are happening. If you learn more about how to use the camera, you have a lot more creative control over your end product. So part of me rambling is just to get enough footage to practice this. I do have a light just off camera. I don't know what that's going to do to put too many highlights into my face, make my face look too white, make it look maybe too yellow. So I have to learn all this, and the only way to do that is to video and practice and edit and then put it up for people to see and get some feedback on. So that's all kind of scary to me. It's all a new journey. But I see this next summer, I'm going to take the winter to learn all of these new techniques, and then I can use the summer to just travel and bring all these really cool stories to you from all these tiny little towns that we found in Michigan, all these really hidden lakes and things, and maybe some of the more popular spots. But as I learn how to edit, I had such a great time on Grand Traverse Bay, and caught a 22-inch smallmouth. One of the best days of my life, and I can't share the footage because there's too much in the background. You'll know where I am, and I don't want that to happen. So I have to get better at editing, and I have to get better at misdirection. So a lot of the pro journals or pro videos that I see, I watch for all these visual cues of what ramp they're at, what side of the lake they might be at. But their editing is so good. Sometimes I feel like they will edit at a ramp and be fishing in a totally different spot. So if I get tricky with my editing, I can still bring you really good quality fish catches and not intentionally try to mislead you. But, we work really hard for these spots. We make really good friendships, and that takes a long time for a lot of fishermen to get close enough to kind of just say hey, where did you, we always want to know where you went. We always want to know what another guy used, and we'll get answers most of the time, but there's always a grain of salt that you got to kind of say, is that true? Or how much truth are they telling me? And I think for me, it's taken me a long time to get close to some dudes who are coming from different worlds and different perspectives from me, to build those relationships so that I can say, hey, where do you have a good spot that I could check out? And they will tell me because they trust me and there's respect there. And it's only right that I respect and trust that. And so when I put up a video, I can't just go out and have a spot so easily identifiable, because it breaks that trust. And that's not what I'm looking to do. So if I get better at editing, I will get better at hiding these spots that have taken dudes years to find. That's an idea. But even then, I don't know if I will ever truly show some of these really good spots that have been shared to me, or lakes that I have found on my own. The grind of finding them takes years, lifetimes, and a lot of the knowledge has been passed down from dudes' dads or grandfathers. So I take that really, really personal, and I take that really serious, and I just think that I want to get better, but I also know you want to see good fish catches, and there's been a lot of times I've found good fish in good spots, and all of a sudden I'm seeing dudes showing up there, and I'm kind of like, how'd you figure that out? And they'll say, I watched your video. And so that's how I know I got to get a little bit better at front camera, back camera, over the shoulder camera, all the editing and the storytelling. So now I'm going in circles, but I hope you find this video interesting. I'm going to sit down and edit it and try a bunch of different looks. So you might notice some better footage from me in the coming months as I practice. It probably won't be fishing. Maybe I'll do some ice fishing. But the channel might switch into a little bit of technical, trying to figure everything out and just keep uploading so that you can come on this like new journey with me. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're one of my students, get to work, man. You got a lot of homework to do. We'll see you.